let's look at some example code. So this is the same web page that we were using in our previous document when we were talking about traversal and access. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to look at a couple of examples of how things go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first just create a node. So it's going to be var, and I'm going to call it an H1 node. And I'm going to set that equal to, as we said, $ quotes, and we create an H1 element. And then I'm going to put some text inside of that. And that text is going to be, this is a header. And so now I've created that node, and now I need to add that node into the document somewhere. So we're going to add it in a bunch of places. The first place that we're going to add it is we're going to add it as the first child of paragraph 1. So we're going to say, all right, here we go. Find the ID of paragraph 1. And we're going to prepend, and we're going to prepend H1 node. And so this is happening when the document is ready. And so the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get an H1 sitting right in here that says this is header. So here we go. There it is. The first thing inside of the paragraph even comes before the H2. If you look at that paragraph, here's div ID paragraph 1. It became the first child. Really interesting to watch this happen in the inspector. If I go into paragraph 1, watch what happens. Watch right here when I refresh this page. This is going to disappear and then reappear again. All right, it happens a little fast. Let's put a click around it, and then you'll see what happens. So let's apply this to an H2 click event. And so this won't happen until we click. And then end that. All right, now let's take a look at that again, and we'll refresh, and you'll see that there's nothing here between the div and the H2. And as soon as I come click on either of these H2s, but I'm going to click on this one, watch over here on the right, and you'll see that H1 appear. Again, this isn't something that was hidden. This is something that we created and pushed in. And that's kind of where the power of the DOM comes in. And again, the inspector is going to be a huge tool for you as you're working through this to find where things are and where you want them to go. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is, so that was an append. I could prepend it if I just change this to, if I change this to append from prepend, now it'll become the last thing in the page or in the div. So there it is, being the last thing in that first div. Okay, so we've got that. Now I can do a before or after. So let's say we're working on an H2, and let's say that we're going to do this as whichever one got clicked on. So this dot before, and we push in the H1 node. So whichever thing I click on, the H1 node is now going to come in before it. So if I click on that, it comes in before it. If I click on this, it comes in before it. All right. And again, similarly, if I do after, and I refresh, now when I click on them, they come in after those H2s. All right. Now I'm going to do an H1 click function. And what we're going to do with that H1 click function is we're going to say alert this dot text, and we're just going to get the text out of the thing. Now we do have an H1 here. It's written at the top of the page. I'm sorry, we're going to, yeah, we do have an H1 there. All right. So I do have an H1 here. It's written at the top of the page, and when I click it, I see it. And now I'm going to click here, and I get this new H1, but when I click on that, it doesn't work. When I click on this one, it does work. When I click on this one, it doesn't work, and that's because this one was added dynamically after the page has loaded. This click function that I'm writing will only work on H1s or H2s that were created or were present when the page loads. That event gets propagated to those elements. If it's created after, then I want to use the on function. And the on function says, what's the event? What's the thing that I wanted to attach to H1s? And then what's the function? The difference is over here, I have to attach it to something that's always there. I typically go with the document or the body tag. Now, with this change, writing my click function as an on event, when I refresh, it does work on the thing that was there previous, and it works on the dynamically loaded content as well. So if you've got anything that is going to be dynamically loaded, you want to make sure that you're using this on event. Last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an empty function. And so what I'm going to do is on click, after I alert that, I'm going to take paragraph 1, and I'm going to empty it. And then I'm also going to find, let's see, paragraph 2 dot find the H2s that are in it, which is this modifying the DOM thing. And I'm going to say remove that. So I'm going to get rid of all of this content. Let's do this again. I'm going to get rid of all of this content, and I'm going to get rid of this H2, all happening when I click on this H1. So here it is. And now all that stuff is gone. If I look at the inspector, you're going to see that inside the body, paragraph 1 is now empty. Paragraph 2 does not have an H2 inside of it. I didn't hide those things. I absolutely removed them from the document. They are no longer part of the tree.